Have you ever wondered how to turn your food scraps into premium black gold, aka worm castings? Well, in this video, we're going to take you step by step on the things you're going to need and what you need to do to get to that black gold. Stay tuned. So in order to get these beautiful plants, there is just a few things you have to do to get the black gold. And so to start it out, all you have to do is pick a nice location. Then you're going to have to pick out what type of worm bin you want, and also what type of worm you want to compost with. And in our opinion, there's no better worm than the red wiggler. And they're designed to turn your food scraps straight to black gold without a lot of time, and very fast and efficient. And that's what we use in our bins, and that's the worms you're looking at here. And aside from that, you do need to keep in mind on what you're going to feed them, and you want to feed them about how you like to be fed, which is good food. And another pillar on having success in vermicomposting is going to be your bedding, and probably the most important thing is the bedding. So definitely think about what you want your worms to be living in. And last but not least, there's one more thing to the key to black gold, and that's going to be moisture. And so they do need a lot of moisture, and if they do dry out, it's not going to work out so great for them. So always give them plenty of water when they're thirsty. So now that you know what you need to do to get started in vermicomposting, I'm going to tell you what vermicomposting is. And vermicomposting is the process of using worms to decompose organic waste, turning it into nutrient-rich compost that grows some of the best plants you've ever seen. So we're going to give you a breakdown of how vermicomposting works, and it starts by having your bin set up. And once you have it set up, you can add your worms. And once you add your worms and give them plenty of water and they're not thirsty anymore, you can then add in some fresh food scraps like banana peels or some apple cores that you didn't eat that was going to go to the trash anyway and then to the landfill. We can stop that and then preserve those as resources to be used in the garden. So once you've saved that banana peel from the landfill, you'll then take that banana peel, gently put it into your worm bin where the worms will already be, and they'll be hungry for the banana peel. And so the banana peel will start to break down into organic matter, and then the worms will come in and start to slowly eat through it day by day until eventually the banana peel is shredded down and broke down through the worm's stomach, and then it will be turned into worm castings, aka black gold. And you can actually, if you look at a worm, see the small amount of black gold coming out the other end, and that's what you want to see, and that's what grows the beautiful plants that taste amazing. And so over the course of weeks and 2 to 6 months is going to be the timeline on what it takes to have premium compost that is finished and ready for your plants. And to get to that, it takes more than one banana peel and a whole bunch of different combinations of food that would have went to the trash anyway, and you're going to save it and make a nice balanced, nutrient-rich, nutrient-dense compost. And the more diverse and the more options that the worms have, the healthier that they'll be, and the more cocoons they'll produce, and the more compost, and the more cocoons that's made makes more worms, and that's how you have even more compost. So now that you know what vermicomposting is, I'm going to tell you what vermicomposting does. And so what it does is it takes where you would have been maybe going to go outsource from your farm or your garden and going and buying some potting mix to get your seeds or transplants going. You would then have the high quality compost from your own backyard to use in making your own potting mix, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be of a higher quality than what you're going to see in the store. So, because you know exactly what went into it and specifically what type of food went into it, and so you know that it'll grow some good plants. So, the main thing that it does is it supplies wide spread nutrients and minerals to the plant's root system where they need it the most, and then that plant's gonna uptake it directly and transform it into some nice vegetables and fruits. It's also a low cost, low investment start to your garden with very high payouts and very high return on your initial investment. And that's what's called a ROI, and it is very important to think about how much it's going to cost versus how much you're going to get out of it. And in our opinion, red wigglers are the best investment that you could ever make. And so a good way to preserve your low cost investment is to think about what kind of food you're going to feed them. And so a good way to think about it is, if you wouldn't eat a 5-gallon bucket of the food, you probably wouldn't want to give a 5-gallon bucket of the food to your worms. So I'm talking about, like, you wouldn't want to eat a 5-gallon bucket of mayonnaise, or you wouldn't want to eat like a 5-gallon bucket of potato chips. So stuff like that, definitely keep to a minimum, and don't just fill up your bin with pure banana peels all the way to the top. Even though bananas are really good, you wouldn't want to just eat a huge pile of bananas. You might want to eat a banana and a little bit of avocado and stuff like that. Also, some of the side perks of having a worm bin close in your backyard is you're going to be able to take a few worms out and go fishing when friends or family come over, and you're also going to be able to take those worms and maybe give them a few worms to start their worm bin, or just to spread the knowledge and wisdom that, you know, not all food scrap is to be thrown in the trash, and you can actually use it to grow something like a nice peach tree or apple tree. And I've never met anyone that didn't want to have an apple tree or peach tree. So definitely keep that in mind. Also, there's nothing quite satisfying as knowing that you went out of your way to try to save some food scraps from the landfill, and that you have been working on this compost for 2 to 3 months, and that you get to treat your favorite plant or tree to the best dirt that is possible, in our opinion, and that's with the power of red wiggler worm castings. And so you know that that tree is going to really enjoy it one day when it's raining, and that rain seeps through your high nutrient dense compost and then releasing those nutrients to the roots so that that tree or plant can take it and use it to make nice green leaves and nice healthy fruits and vegetables. So you can also feel pretty confident if you've done kind of like what we say and gave the worm bin nice healthy foods and good foods that are nutrient rich and dense to your worms, that the food that those trees and vegetables grow are going to be very nutritious and healthy for you and your family, and that if you give somebody a pepper or a tomato from the worm castings, that they're going to be happy and be like, wow, I didn't know a pepper could taste that good. And so by doing that, you're also encouraging people to get out there and get the nice sunshine and get that vitamin D through their skin. Also, some nice, gentle, light exercise that, in my opinion, everyone needs. And that doesn't matter if you're 80 years old or even if you just got out of college. Like, you do need exercise every day and fresh air and sunlight. So by giving people just that one pepper, they might be like, wow, I need to get some worms and I need to get my compost going. That way I can have some nice, delicious fruits and vegetables straight in my backyard. So another thing to think about when you're vermicomposting is that once you get your bin set up and you do harvest your first batch of worm castings, you're then going to have that same amount of castings for the next 3 to 6 months, for as long as you can maintain the worm bin and keep your red wigglers happy. And so all you have to do is, like we said, not feed them nothing too out there, and you should have basically a never-ending supply of the best compost for your garden. Another thing to think about when you're vermicomposting that you might not have thought about is you're going to take your cooking game to the next level, and you're going to have tons of fresh herbs and seasonings that you can make with those herbs, like basil and oregano, that you can make some restaurant quality dishes to really impress your friends and family and to improve the quality of your life. And also at the same time, you're saving a lot of plastics and all that stuff from the landfill that the seasonings come in, and the fresher the vegetable, the better it is for you. So definitely keep that in mind, that it's not all just about the garden, it's also about feeding yourself and providing good food, and not only that, quality food for your family. So with all that being said, I would just like to say thank you guys for watching and sticking through this video, and I hope we really taught you guys something and got you guys excited about vermicomposting and getting you some red wigglers and setting them up in your backyard. And so all you have to do is go to harleysworms.com, and we could supply you with as many red wigglers as you need for your garden. And also, we believe we have some of the best worms out there, as well as some of the best products for keeping your worm bin running smoothly and producing tons of cocoons and making sure your worm bin survives through the years and all the cold and hot summers. So we're going to give you guys a special code to use on our website, and it's going to be code YouTube. Type it in on our website and we'll give you guys 10% off on your order, and that's going to save you guys some money, and that's going to make the small investment even smaller to make sure that everything goes your way. And you can rest assured we're going to give great customer service and answer any questions you have or any problems you have in the garden. We'll be there 7 days a week. We'll answer your calls and make sure everything goes smoothly with the transaction and that all customers are happy. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you're new, and hit that like button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more great educational videos like this. Thank you guys.